We are in. All right, all right, all right. Hey, it is Content Creation Thursday. Welcome to You Can't Make This Shit Up. I am David Washington,
And
Joel
I am
Huxley.
Joel Hoxley. Yes, I am in the house. I am so happy to be here.
and we are broadcasting from the lovely offices of J&W here on West Colonial in Orlando. And just want to say, we appreciate you, our audience,
Mhm.
and we are very grateful for the comments, the likes, the shares. You can see us across all of our media,
Mhm.
all of our platforms, and it's been phenomenal. The growth that we've seen,
Oh yeah,
and
you put out good content, you get good, you know, good audience. Even if you
it's,
get your troll, I mean, hey,
it's true.
I want a troll. I don't get into it. Like that's the one thing, David.
Right,
I
right,
I, I really want to, but I
exactly,
say if I feed it, I'm gonna just like blow it up.
right.
So every once in a while, I might just throw a crumb out there, but I'm not going any further. If I say something, that's my last comment. So,
And there it is.
so
It's,
yeah.
so
So David, so a lot of things in the news.
yes,
So it's
let's.
hard week to keep up.
Woo! It's been quite the week, right?
Yes.
And let's set up this show. The agreement between the state and groups challenging Florida's congressional map, which does not end the litigation, and we're talking about the congressional map that was urged,
Well, no, no,
promoted by
uh,
Ron
uh,
DeSantis,
it
and,
was
and passed by the state
it
legislature.
was my way or the highway. Like it was
That's
like,
true.
listen, I'm going to veto I'm going to veto
Uh-huh.
your lines. So no matter what you give me, these are the lines that I like. So I'm like, you got to
It,
call a spade a spade. You
that's
have to
true. That's true.
call a heart, right?
It the agreement would reinstate Representative or former Representative Al Lawson's seat in the northern portion of Florida, and this was Congressional District 5 or 2. I cannot recall, but this means that the plaintiffs suing over the map will drop legal challenges to other revamped districts, such as those in Central Florida
We're out.
and the Tampa Bay area. There is still a separate lawsuit over Florida's congressional maps in Florida in federal court. So the agreement states very clearly, however, that any new map will be centered around North Florida and will only affect those districts. So Al Lawson may be returning, and likely it will be a most it will be a predominantly black district, or it is a district that will give black citizens an opportunity to elect a black representative. So yeah, this
Corinne
is
Brown is coming back, everybody. Corinne Brown, yes, Corinne Brown. She's coming back. Okay, she's gonna challenge. She's gonna challenge for that seat. You got it. You got to admit
I would like to see new blood.
Yeah,
I would like to see fresh, young um, contenders for that seat.
not too young.
Not well,
I mean, look,
we can have a repeat of Representative Frost here in
that's what I'm talking about.
District 10.
So Frost has been like with the vice president. She's been here like 6 times. You know, I think that's her favorite boy now. So it's like, hey, he's the youngest
Mhm.
there, and she's spending a lot of time with them. So Air Force Two must be fun.
It's all part of the perks of being a congressperson.
Oh yeah,
So
well, I
yeah.
got to see Frost and Soto on the tarmac with her, and I
Mhm.
sometimes say Soto has like no confidence. I mean, he's having a conversation with the vice president, He's got his sunglasses on,
Stay on task.
but
Stay on
he's
task.
looking
We're
down.
talking about this new
We're talking
district.
about Congress, so it's every once in a while
It's
you
a
get
new
to say something.
district.
But yeah, so new blood for this district. I don't think it. Look, gerrymandering started. I'm from Massachusetts, so gerrymandering started in Massachusetts. If anybody knows the story, that's where it started. And now we're going to fight over the most obvious, the most obvious gerrymandered district because it was a minority district.
Well, according to the Voters' Rights Act, this district, and this was litigated, a decade ago, and found to be valid, that African American voters had the right to elect someone representing them here in Florida. So Florida is going to lose a seat. This is again another legislative act by DeSantis and his administration and the supermajority Republicans that's being litigated and likely to lose. I'm disappointed that the whole the whole congressional map is not being re-examined, and only just this part. It seems to be favoritism. However, I'm not part of the litigation. I'm not a party to it.
I love these lines.
Officially, but it's it's likely that Florida will see a new district in the north, and it will be black.
Yeah, well, I just so what we're doing is making a map,
adhering to the VRA.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm saying we're making a map that goes, which used to go all the way down the East Coast, now goes all the way over towards Tallahassee. I mean, no different. It's, Corinne Brown can go either direction. So I don't like gerrymandering. So I just had a show that I talked about. Is it because they're black or Republican? So we're talking about we're talking about a racial district needing to be redrawn to bring it back.
Like in Louisiana, Alabama,
I don't have a
Texas,
problem.
so forth.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. So
Just
you don't have to
clarifying for our
correct me. You don't have to
audience.
clear.
No,
You don't
no,
need to
I'm
clarify.
I'm clarifying for our audience.
No,
because
I don't need a
they-
clarification.
they
They know
do.
where I'm
They
going.
do. They do.
They know where I'm going.
They do.
They know exactly where I'm going. So I say that Byron Donaldson should be that district's representative. We should, that's it. I mean, how does Byron get an opportunity
He
for
can
that
run.
seat?
He can run for
No, the way it's
the
drawn,
seat.
the way it's drawn,
Let him run.
it's going to be way heavy liberal.
But wait a second, isn't he? He's already a congressman.
I'm just saying he could run up there.
Byron Donalds should run for governor.
Whatever. I'm talking about. You're not going to. We have one conservative. We have one conservative.
How about Glenn?
Glenn, he can run. I'm sure the newspapers would love to write that story.
Oh yeah.
But no, he's a Central Florida guy. So if he were to run, he'd probably run against Frost
For governor?
If he were to run for Congress, he would probably run against Frost because he's not gonna be a carpetbagger.
No.
Like this last time, we had so many that's another whole topic. We had so many carpetbaggers, people just trying to pick a seat to win. But David, I just don't see it's gerrymandered. I mean, come on, there's a better way to get a seat that's a minority seat. I mean, we don't do this for Hispanics. We don't. I mean, but we get Hispanics elected. Well, I mean, we someday we're just going to take race out of the equation of everything. Because one day we're going to finally realize that we're all people. We're all people. And it why do we keep putting these wedges? This is just another wedge lawsuit. I'm not arguing. It's in the law. It was passed. The law was passed. I'm not arguing. This is a good lawsuit. I am
DeSantis
glad
specifically said this district should not exist because
it's
it's a black
gerrymandered.
district.
No, because it was gerrymandered.
Pull up his quote.
Oh, I'll pull it
Pull
up.
up his quotes.
Okay. So
He's like, this district should not be a district for blacks.
so
Not a specific quote. However, it's along those lines.
I thought he used the word gerrymandered. I really do, because it is like the most gerrymandered. Like when it was Corinne Brown's.
And he was wrong. It was litigated a decade ago. He wants to come in and change it. Now it's being litigated
Well,
again.
he's trying to say
again, and now he's again being found to be wrong by a court, or
No,
at
the
least
court- no, 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 no.
disagreement. Disagreement.
the court hasn't even decided.
Right.
This is simply they want to consolidate to one lawsuit. They want to consolidate to one district. They want to pay attention to one district.
Right. I think both parties feel that is advantageous for their individual agendas.
Yeah, because if you
to-
guys
to do
argue,
it this way.
because if you're
Because I would
liberal,
go for the whole.
if your liberal
congressional
side,
map.
yeah, but if your liberal side continued with that, then they lose that main argument. They'll lose the main argument, because we do have a minority district.
Yeah, but they lost a district.
Okay, but that's because you didn't vote.
No.
They had a black
no,
woman running for that seat.
No. They had a black woman. The seat did not exist in this new congressional map created by DeSantis and the supermajority Republican
So they wiped that number out.
legislature. Yes, because
They wiped the number out. So
no,
that's
we're not talking about the number. We're talking about the district, Joel. Don't be.
No, they changed
disingenuous.
the-
We're
they
talking
changed the
about
shape of the district.
Yes, we're talking about the district, so that it became a Republican leading district.
But it's
DeSantis
Jackson. But it's
specifically-
Jacksonville.
DeSantis specifically sought out to reduce
The courts will
the
make that decision.
power that Democrats, and I would have done the same thing, reduce the power of his opponents in the congressional map so that it could help when it comes to electing electors for the electoral college when we select president. It's all about presidential politics. However, to address what you just said, America is going to be America. That's not going to change. However, there are solutions like independent entities creating our
So you want the government?
congressional districts.
So you want the government to put government people to make the decision? It's going to be the same thing.
What do you mean government?
Like
I'd say independent.
when
I'd
you
say independent.
independent, but it's not going to be independent.
I say
What are we going to elect them?
What does
Are we going to
independent-
elect them, or are
what
they going to be
does
selected?
What does independent mean to you?
So what I saw on
I just said
what I saw
independent.
what I saw on
I
the
just say independent.
I said
Clarify your
independent.
point.
The last time they proposed this, so you can smile about it, and I'm going to explain. The last time they tried to talk about this, it was independent. We'll put independent people there, and we'll put this many Republicans, this many Democrats, and this many independents. Independents are not nonpartisans. They have a partisan lean. If you know which ones you want, it's never going to be independent, David, because we all have ideas. This is what makes politics two-party system. Is because we see things a little differently.
All I said was independent, Joe. However it's decided who's going to be on what, whether it's a computer program, whether it's artificial intelligence, or if the parties get together and select a commission, or there's a blue ribbon commission of Martians. I don't care. All I said was that it was independent.
And I don't.
And as folks in Michigan, how it turned out for them.
Let me say, I believe that the government should do the government's job. I believe the Constitution was quite clear that it was the Senate's responsibility for the Senate's responsibility. We take that away through an amendment, right? We keep taking all these things and start spreading them around. When are we going to get back to like states being able to be states, cities to be cities, counties or counties? I mean, we shift the power every time. Now we're just going to take the power of the lines. Look, winning has its privileges. You lost, right? You
Oh, yeah.
lost, and you lost those districts. If Florida hadn't done what they did, the House would not be in our control. I'm not going to argue that. I see it. And that the districts, they're drawn by the Constitution, our Constitution. They go through actual board boundaries. And, because I looked at it before when we were having this conversation. He didn't break the law. He didn't break the law. A federal law is what you just, you know, the federal law is probably what we're talking about, because the state doesn't have anything in there about making sure you have specific districts or anything like that. It's like they tried to change it so that it got better, because they used to just draw lines all over the place. I mean, shoot, it's supposed to be borders, right? And they would have a little bit of orange and a little bit of this, and but we changed the Constitution. So I agree with I agree that this is going to be litigated in the courts, and
Mhm.
we're going to find out. I don't think this one goes to the Supreme Court, but I'm just tired of the power being switched for everywhere.
Well, to clarify my point earlier about what DeSantis said, I want to quote him directly at the bill signing for this particular um, map
Okay.
legislation. He said that his office's map will, quote, have North Florida drawn in a race neutral manner. We are not going to have a 20-mile gerrymander that divvies up people based on the color of their skin. That is wrong. That is not the way we have governed in the state of Florida. End of quote.
Okay.
But that district has existed long before DeSantis became governor. So it in a way it's
Basically, he
being
said.
disingenuous.
Basically, he said, we're going to use that word. We're going to make it fair.
No, he said race neutral. That's all.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, not
That's
necessarily.
fair to
No, it's not.
everybody.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's not fair to everyone. If it's fair to everyone, then we would not have a District 10 the way it is. If it was fair to everyone, we would
Well,
not have
District
a
10? District 10 is great. I mean, it's drawn perfectly for, I mean, it is. It's exactly what it needs to look like. You know, you had how many? You had like 9 Republicans that felt they could win that seat. Come on, David. That's a beautiful seat. It's probably the best seat in the entire state. No, David. So where I'm going, and you can kind of think I'm going the other direction. I don't believe DeSantis had the right to draw the lines.
really.
I believe it
It should
should have been the legislator. The legislature, and that's why I was saying when you're in independent,
Agreed.
right? They came out with lines.
Several.
And
We follow that.
I followed it
We follow
closely.
that.
And I thought we still gained. I think I saw that we still gained,
You all did pretty well.
but we didn't gain that many seats. The amount, I think four is the 4 seats we took with his map. But yes, now I'm going to say something totally derogatory about my governor. When I talk about law and I talk about stuff like this, David, my heart's in the right place. The governor had no right to do what he did. The threatening of a veto was fine, because if they had stood by their map, they could override a veto. That's my final word.
My final word is, like you stated earlier, and we've stated this so many times, when you have the power, there's great responsibility with that power. However, when you have supermajorities, when you have the governor's seat, the governor's mansion, and the Supreme Court that favors your policies, personally, I would use it to my benefit. And I don't blame the governor and the Republicans for doing what they are doing. It's just that now, as it has been for the last generation, the Democrats are suffering under their lack of preparedness, organization, forward thinking strategy, and a real current strategy of regaining these seats and regaining the mansion, the governor's mansion. It's politics.
Hit that like, hit that share, get that conversation started. David, thank you for a very robust conversation.
I love this stuff. Thank you, y'all.